Good morning and welcome to a message for this morning. In my meditation today, the thought came to me that what's really important for people to be able to do is to let go of past emotions that no longer serve a proper function in our lives. Emotions like guilt, shame, anger, disappointment, sadness. There's nothing wrong with experiencing those things when something occurs in the moment that makes us feel sad or upset. There's nothing wrong with allowing that. But when we carry that forward from that moment, we hold ourselves back. We prevent ourselves from being able to effectively and honestly live a life based on who we are in the present moment. When we hold on to anger about what that person did 10 minutes ago even, when we hold on to any emotion that does not serve us, we hold ourselves back, literally hold ourselves back to that event, to that place, that space, that time. And every time we resurrect that past emotion, remembering that person, remember that person did that? Oh, do you remember that? We're literally resurrecting the past. And the past is dead. The past is finished. It's over. The only thing we truly, really have is this present moment. Master Jesus spoke of this when he said, let the dead bury the dead. In other words, leave the past in the past and return to the present, here and now. The kingdom of God, the kingdom of oneness, the kingdom of enlightenment is here and now. It's not out there somewhere else. It's within you right now. And that place we call heaven that is within you right now, that present moment, is a place where you can choose right at this moment to let go of the past, to literally take a breath and move into the present moment. Release yourself from the anger. Literally breathing, relaxing, calming your body and your mind. You can begin to liberate yourself from the past. So you're not looking back. There's a story in the Bible about the Tower of Babel, where God was going to destroy this tower, and people are fleeing from the tower, this place of violence and anger and greed and avarice and all the negative emotional behaviors that go along with anger and guilt and shame and self-doubt. And people are fleeing, and they were instructed by the angels to not look back, to don't look back at the past. And it's really important, because every time you look back at the past, you literally are frozen back into the past. If you remember that time you were upset. And I know this from personal experience. I went through about 7 years of sexual abuse at the hands of a stepfather. And in that process, for many years after that, I look back at my pain and my suffering as being a product of that event. Mind you, that event was painful and sad and unpleasant, and it didn't make me feel good then. But I was still carrying it with me. I had to come to a place where I could let that anger, that fear, that sadness, that guilt, that shame that I carried around in me, that I chose to carry around in me after that. When that man was out of my life and gone, I still carried the memory. I kept it alive. I was looking back at it, and it kept me stuck in that pain and that anger, that guilt and that shame. And then the same thing when I got into drugs and alcohol, I condemned myself and found fault with myself and felt like a failure. And I kept looking back at that and kept myself stuck in those emotions. So learning how to let go of emotions is really important. It's okay to feel something when it upsets you, but don't carry it forward. If you carry it forward, you're looking back, you're going to get stuck and frozen in your past, and you won't be able to experience or be open to new opportunities in the present. It's like holding something up in front of your face. If you look at your past, all the pain and anger, you suddenly look at your past, you got all that pain and anger in front of you, you're not going to see anything else. You won't see anything but that pain, that anger, that guilt, that shame. So it's important to be able to put the past behind you, to leave it there, to move forward with your life. And there's a simple process technique that I've learned repeatedly to do to get past that. And literally, it's as simple as getting your body sat down, your mind sat down, and literally breathing and relaxing your body fully and completely. Releasing your mind, your attention off the past, and just being in the present moment. And as your body gets more relaxed and your mind gets quieter, take some time then to focus on what you would really like to feel in your life. You don't have to have an image for what that looks like, but what would it feel like in your body and in your thoughts if you've had more love in your life, if you had more joy in your life, if you had more wealth in your life, if you have good people in your life? What would that feel like? How would you wake up each morning? How would you walk down the street? What would you be doing right now if you had the money that you needed, if you had the people in your life that loved and honored and cherished you? And as you allow yourself to focus on those ideas and train your mind and your body to focus in a new way, you'll start to feel what I call liberation. Literally the liberation from your past, to literally let go of the past. The word let go, let go, also translates into the word forgiveness. The word forgiveness is from the Aramaic, and when it's literally translated in English, it means to let go of. So when you forgive something, you're letting go of it. When you forgive somebody for mistreating you, you're letting go not of the fact that they mistreated you, but of how you feel about that, your anger, your guilt, your shame, your disappointment. And then when you let go of those things, you'll start to make choices not from anger and fear. You'll start to make choices from hope and possibility and excitement and love and playfulness. And it's really important to develop this skill. We can't make it any simpler than this. Literally, when you feel your upset or your anger or your depression or whatever that past emotion is, because that's what depression is. Depression is an attachment, an extreme attachment to the past, or an extreme attachment to conditions that are a product of your past. Because remember, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking is creating what is being experienced around you. And when you learn to change and master that, you liberate yourself from that past stuff. And it takes practice. Just do it this every day for 5 minutes even. If you can do 5 minutes 3 times a day where you stop and you breathe, relax your body, and make a decision to release your anger, to release your anger, your fear, your guilt, your shame, to release the past emotions from your body, from your mind. Because remember, emotions are what drive your body to act. When you're excited, you get excited. When you're depressed, your body does something. Certain emotions constitute certain behaviors in your body. And if it's a state of anger, well, that's going to create certain behaviors. And those certain behaviors send signals to the environment. And those signals to the environment cause the environment to behave towards you a certain way. That's why, you go into a club and the people are standing around and one guy looks at the other guy, what you looking at? What you looking at? And the other guy's like, what you looking at? What you looking at? Right? They're sending this vibration back and forth, and that builds and builds and builds and builds until it ends up in a fight. And the same thing is true for any negative expression. We get captured by a negative emotion. We get fixated on it and begin to fester and grow. And learning how to let go of those things, regardless of how other people are treated in the past. Get yourself to a place in the present moment where you're deliberately and intentionally choosing to be in a state of what I would call love, excitement, possibility, hope, and not let anything else come into your consciousness. Paul the Apostle said, dwell upon those things which are good and right. I'm not a biblical guy, I'm not a scholar, I've got a grade 10 education, but I have read some things that make sense to me when Paul said, whatsoever things that are of good report, on those things dwell. And what are things of good report? Love, joy, excitement, compassion, kindness, playfulness, excitement, purposeful living, following through on the things that matter most to you. Those are things that are of good report. Let all the rest pass you by. Let whenever anger comes up, let it go. You don't need it. It has no useful purpose in your life. It just causes more anger, causes more pain. Let go of your sadness. It's from your past. You don't need to carry it forward anymore. Let it go. Live here and now in the emotional state of your choosing. Choose to be in a state of love and grace. And it's important because your brain and your body will take time to learn how to focus the way you want them to focus because they've been taught to be a certain way. And it's your responsibility to encourage them to be different than they had been for you. They're meant to be your servants, not your master. You know, when the master comes home to the house, and this is your house, and you see how your mind and body are behaving, you want to retrain them to be of service to you, not you feeling like you have to fight with them all the time and, oh my God, here's that feeling again. You want to let that go. Train them to be still. Your body is your servant. Your mind is your servant. Retrain them to be in the image and likeness that you want them to be. Remember, you can say to your mind, you can say to your body, close your eyes, and your eyes will close. You can say to your body, move your hands will move. You can say to your body, go get that glass of water. It'll turn around and get the glass of water. Your body's meant to do and be as you need it to be. It's your servant, and so is your mind. But if you have not been taught or shown that you can change your thoughts, you can change your emotions, then you're bound by the thoughts and emotions that were given to you by your environment. And the goal of these morning messages is to remind you that you are free to create and be and do the life of your dreams. So focus on whatever that is. Focus on your dreams. Really give it attention. I'm a professional medium, and I can bring beings through. Sometimes they come through, sometimes they don't. Today, I'm on my own. I get to share with you my personal experience about what I do on a day-to-day basis to keep myself focused and in a state of peace and joy to the best of my ability. And there will be challenges that come into our lives that give us the opportunity to expand that and increase that and develop and strengthen personal power around being able to be in the present moment. But my goal for today's message was just to remind you that you are not your past. You're not those past emotions. You're not the depression. You're not the anger. You're not the guilt. You're not the shame. You're not the anxiety. Those are emotional energies that are not you. They're just emotions acquired from your past that you can finally say, no, I don't need to keep reliving that anymore. I can choose to be in the present moment. Another simple tool I'd like to give you today, when you find yourself wrestling with an emotion and you feel like you can't get rid of it, take a breath. Identify the emotion, whether it's anger or fear or guilt or shame or depression or whatever it is. Recognize what it is. Just label it. Anxiety, fear, guilt, shame. Take a deep breath, label it, and then say these words to that anger, that fear. And when you say these words, you're going to notice immediate change. And the words are this: no matter what I've thought or felt or believed about you, I'm willing to love you even if I don't understand you. And when you speak those words, speak them in a tone of voice that sounds like you really mean it, or think them in a tone of voice that sounds like you really mean them. Remember, whatever the negative emotional state you find yourself in, if you give those words to it in a sincere tone, you'll feel an immediate change because you're formulating an intention of love. Even if you don't understand why you're angry or upset or anxious or depressed, you don't have to understand why. What you do need to understand is that by interacting with that energy differently, you will change it. You'll be liberated from it. You'll feel a change. And please, if you practice this activity and you get results, please share your results in the comment section of this video. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you want to know more about what I do, the courses and classes that we offer, you can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and you can read all about it there. And I want to thank you for your time from your busy day for these few minutes for this message. Much love to all of you. Take care, and bye for now.